To go on second down.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 38-yard line.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Look at this, a tight end carry. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well.
A gain of 16 yards. First down, Minnesota.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. Working out of the gun, Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And an alley to run. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And Diggs has it. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, it has to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his first touchdown of the new season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Building confidence after a loss, that's a good way to do it. The loss last game, but first drive here in this one, cashing it in for 6.
Hey, they can talk all they want about putting the loss behind them. I think that drive there did more than any conversation they had, don't you think?
That's exactly right. Puts that to bed, and this is what they said all week long. A lot of things they needed to do differently, and whatever they said appears to have worked. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Working from the gun, Rodgers. And an alley to run.
Watch twist. Over. Hey, take 26.
Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go.
There is a hush indeed. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Zadarius Smith Came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. On second down, it's Cook. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Now Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. 30. 10. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, 78 yards. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
At their own 25-yard line.
About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Watch us lap.
On first down, Rodgers. And that's complete to Adams. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a first down.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Rodgers now on first down. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
On second down now, it's Jones. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
6-6, pull it high.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. And that will be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point, or in this case, a field goal.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
12 yards there. First down, Vikings.
And the Vikings first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations. But a guy of his size, Can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Cousins gives way to Cook. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Give to Cook out of the gun. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and makes creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And this one complete to Smith.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in and picks up the first down.
Cousins going to come up on a 1st and 10, and he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. Throwing, Cousins, and this is Cook with the ground. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. And this one to Treadwell, complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Bailey got the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Around the NFL, they're into the 2nd quarter of the Meadowlands. And an early advantage in that one for the Giants. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Rodgers now on 1st down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Dalvin Cook with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Now, the PAT would extend their lead, but there is a flag on the play. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Let's go. 25-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Bryant has it. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. Here's Rodgers. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Taken in at the 11. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. On the NFL scoreboard, 2nd quarter in Nashville. And it's the Titans who are off to the early lead in that ball game. To throw, Cousins. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. Left side caught by Diggs. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Cousins. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left.
That's it. Big hit.
So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. 13 yards, first down, Packers. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Complete to Jones. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield? It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. There for the sack, Everson Griffin.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. And the punt team on now as this one sent away. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. Preston Smith comes in for the sack. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Let's go. Take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough, because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds.
Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball. And I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
First down, here's the run with Cook. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They run it again with Cook. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On the ground, it's Cook. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A 15-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Now a first down carry by Jones. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Rip left, rip left. He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up. Get him!
From just shy of midfield, Rodgers. And Graham's got it. Complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now a draw play. This is Jones. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Green 18. Check. 53's Mike. Double dog. That's the way. 53's the Mike. 53's the Mike. Excellent. Mike.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, and certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. On now is Mason Crosby, who's hit from as far as 58 in his career. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. That would have been from way downtown. Pretty big roll of the dice, and he comes up a bit short.
Yeah, you knew when you saw the holder setting up on the other side of the 50 that this was going to be a long shot. But to me, there's really no loss here because you've shown confidence in him. Kicking it from a long distance, that'll pay dividends. And the miss, you can shake that one off. He wasn't likely to make it in the first place.
Now a throw here on 2nd down, and that's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
It's a gain of 10.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
On first down, Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
At the 30-yard line.
Gun.
Cousins. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Josh Jackson. Through an opening, and there he goes. And into the end zone. It's a pick-6 and a Packer touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell, just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick-6, and now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. Blake Martinez, the NFC's leading tackler a year ago, in on the stop.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On third down, Cousins. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. Elsewhere, they're on to the fourth quarter at MetLife Stadium. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. A win would be their first of the young season. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. Making the stop there, Danielle Hunter. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Rodgers to his tight end Graham on a big one. 41 yards. So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for first and 10. Here's Rodgers operating from the gun. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on first and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Hey, check 26.
On second down, it's Jones. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. The Packers on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 4, eluding the pressure right. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the fourth quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on fourth down.
6-man. Check curls. Check. 26. 54th. Check. Watch.
Rodgers to throw for it on fourth. And this is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Vikings defense is going to get the football back.
It's game situation. Let's go.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Cousins here to throw. Oh, and he'll just get rid of this one deep. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and maybe more importantly, a victory in the division, which always helps.
And on the road. How about all of that rolled up into one? Because how often do you see division games get decided by this much of a margin?
Yeah, they thumped them.
Yeah, they jumped all over them. In a division game, it's usually a touchdown or less because these two teams know each other better than most teams in the league. In this case, that didn't hold up. On the road, big margin, big victory. Oh, yeah, that flight home will be good.
So for the Vikings, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they will fall to 1-1.